Hello world, WayofTime here, bringing to you another episode of Factorio. So, there wasn't much progress made since last time. I was hoping that we'd manage to get everything done on camera together. So, I'm gonna just start crafting up some heavy armor, and we're going to, once again, need a resupply on all of our base materials, such as all of our copper, iron, and a bunch of other needs. Now, I don't know if I want to have all these alien artifacts on me. However, 20 doesn't seem bad at all, considering. Now, I think I'll probably want to get 2 more electric mining drills so that I'll at least have something more going than all of... Like, it seems we are running out of all of the... Well, these things can't keep up. Let's try to keep it as down low as that. Okay, so let's place this here. That should give us all of our amenities, and then we can place all the conveyor belts in random directions. That's cool, that's cool. I don't care about organization skills. I am not caring whatsoever. Nope, 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 not at all. Okay, so what are we going to want to do? We're going to want to go and start some of our oil processing. And what's that going to require? That's going to require a bunch of pump jacks, which needs some, basically a lot of electrical circuits. Now, electrical circuits are going to become very prevalent in the times to come, so it might be a very good idea to get all of that going at a much higher amount. I mean, this assembling machine is good and all, however, it's not giving us all that we need, and by that, it means that we are going to need to make a few more circuit making machines. Thinking 2 dedicated crafters will be good enough. These should be able to supply us all that we need in that regard, so let's actually make a few underground belts, and we're going to want to route this iron as well past our assemblers. So I'm thinking maybe here we can have this, or unless we had it like this. The underground thing should be able to get past there, though I am not entirely sure. Let's check. Okay, that is good. We'll just have to reverse the position. We'll have this here. And still not exactly what I wanted, is it? Okay, we can do better than this. We can. I don't know if we can. We'll have to. There. That'll be good. And what I'll just want to do is route all of this so that we have our copper wiring going this way. We're going to need to route this so that it goes to more than just that circuit machine. And we're going to want a host of all of the normal amenities too. Why aren't those in my main inventory? I don't know. And doing shift 4 is not exactly going to give us what we want, is it? Now, what we want are just the standard circuits, just a few of those. We're going to want a bit of power. We're also going to want to route all of this. This is going to be messy, isn't it? It is indeed. So, there are 2 options. I guess I have to route all of the circuits this way. That does give us a few complications, one of which being that things are going to be messy as all hell. You can probably have the things run this way. Yeah, let's do that. So we'll want the eventual circuits to go this way as well. That means we'll want this like here, and also our iron to go this way. Never said that factories had to be pleasant looking. However, I do prefer having factories pleasant looking for obvious reasons. Now, in a game like this, where it's completely 2D, unlike Minecraft's 3-dimensional shenanigans, you are not able to build vertically, so you can't overcome a few challenges that 2D things represent. So you have to route things mostly in the two-dimensional, or else things just won't work, and it does become a mild nuisance when things don't. However, I do like the fact that you are able to eventually uproot things so that you'll basically be able to have everything working in a nice, orderly fashion. However, orderly does not seem like it's going to be helpful in this regard. Well, not going to be possible in that regard, that's for sure. Yes! Let's have all of our transport belts in this nice location where we're not going to be able to access them at all. That's cool. That's fine. We'll try to find them later, maybe when we have a dedicated transport belt factory or something like that. Which reminds me, something that we're probably going to want to do is do some better logistics, which will give us faster transport belts. It'll take 40 each of Science Pack 1 or 2s. Might as well research those. That should be done in 5 minutes time? Yeah, about that. Okay, so let's see. Got all that. We can probably have our iron go some which way. I have no clue. You'd think with my name I'd be able to understand that. And maybe one more of these so that we can at least have things... We'll at least have that at our disposal at a later date. For now, I think just having these will be decent. And we can plonk another random Soren chest right there. For those of you who do not know the reference, shame on you. So that'll give us a lot of circuits, and we'll be able to eventually route this into a main circuit thing. In fact, I don't think I'm gonna have these iron plates go anywhere other than here, this particular line, unless I divert it at this point, because frankly having this loop over here or anyway, well actually that won't be possible at all, because we already have an iron loop there and we're not going to be able to go past there, so I think we are safe. How's our energy? Energy is critical yet again, so we're going to need to make a few more of these. Let's just make all of them. Might as well make ourselves happy fun times. Make ourselves happy fun times. I don't even know. I don't even word. Do you word? Okay, we'll go like that. That means we'll need a splitter, which we don't even have the iron for. And making all that means that I'm gonna be basically in crunch time when I'm making all this. Them's the ropes. Them's the ropes. Them's the ropes doesn't even bloody well make sense right now. In this context especially. Goodness gracious way. The words that come out of your mouth should not surprise you, because they are in fact your words. Last time I checked, that is. Anyways. Means I need to bring them like this way, and I'm gonna run out of things like that. Yeah. Good, and I thought I would have deforested this already. Be right back. Probably didn't even need to deforest that, but oh well. Whatever. Like this. Make sure I'm not in the way. I don't like getting crushed. It's a policy of mine, not getting crushed. Oh no. You know how it is, right? Right? Might as well just make a few more of those, and we just need a bit of energy to go this way. Thankfully, we do have... Thankfully, there's reactant. Ugh. Thankfully, we do have larger things here, so we'll be able to get a bit more copper going our way. Just need one more inserter. Then I should be good in that regards. There we go. Now our energy possibilities are going to be a lot higher. That should last us for a lot longer, and our coal is getting fed from, I think, it's feeding both the copper supply and our energy supplies, and it's only one mining drill, which in hindsight is not a very good policy. Yeah, replacing it where we need a lot more energy is not a very good idea, so let's actually get that. There we go. Mining, fun times, and 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, got that covered. Lots more coal, lots more iron, lots more circuitry. You actually probably have a load of circuits right now. Gimme. 76, that's actually quite good. Now, what was our bottleneck? We need steel, of course. Why didn't I think of that? Steel, steel. See where everything is. I actually don't know where everything is. Now, what I'm really interested in is eventually the bots. That's something that we're going... Especially the logistics. I haven't actually had a chance to play with the logistics bots at all. And we now need more iron. Great. But I am itching to try that. Now, I want to just make a bunch of pump jacks. I want to see... Well, I want to basically go out running on this one. Now the problem is we're going to need a bit of electricity as well, and we're also going to need some method to bring all the stuff down. Now bring the stuff down, it's easy. We got a pipe. Now pipes, if I'm correct, they give it like 10 units of fuel a second. Now, what are the reasons that we want to pump all of this delicious crude? Best not to drink this stuff. It might go down the wrong way and not be so delicious when you finally get down to it. Let's actually get that. And now there are a few things, one of which is plastics. We're going to need to research that. And what plastic gives us are access to more advanced circuitry. This is something we're also going to research. I wonder if we actually have enough logistics stuff. That would be a problem if we ran out. Could check. Yeah, might as well. I say, it's kind of ironic that as soon as I stop recording, it goes, "You have completed your research," and all that. Good times, good times. So with our oil processing, we have a bunch of options for us. We're going to need chemical plants and oil refineries. That are basically the basic things that we're going to need for any sort of actual utilization of our fuel. Right now, the machines that we have in our inventory are just for the creation of all of the fun stuff, and just doing the oil refinery was not a good idea. We're going to need a bit of steel, and the steel is going to take a bit of time, so we should probably wait for the stuff to go instead of just going balls to the wall and just doing blah 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 blah. I am talking, and oh my goodness, what are you even saying? We're also going to need a lot of pipes, which is going to be more time to spend, so it's probably a good idea to maybe take this a bit slower than what I am doing, or I could just craft a bunch of things and be done with it. That works too. Just one more of those, one more of these things, and we should be good. Yeah? Okay, just a bit of stone, a bit of this, blah blah blah, might as well... Oh, there's my alien artifacts. Why did I put you in the stone furnace? Not exactly the most intuitive of locations for me to put ancient alien artifacts where I have limited to no knowledge of them. But you know, that's how I roll. Speaking about rolling, ooh, these are out of fuel. It's gonna be problematic, isn't it? Gonna have to think on this. The term "screw it, let's do this my way" for a change is probably an adequate way to describe this situation. I need to get coal over here, so I might as well put coal on here. I can't actually put coal on this, and the reason for that is because I am using the iron to fuel those parts. So what I'm thinking is I'll run a conveyor belt down here. Whoop, that's a big thing. I need to just get that out of the way. Gonna run a conveyor belt up here or down here. Down. Might as well. Like this. Just dedicated completely for coal, and then I can use 2 of these and get everything off of it. However, for that I'm going to need to do fancy footwork of non-actual footing. Now I could make this look really fancy by just having it spread across here. Actually, I'm just gonna go for the fancy over fancy and functional. Just because. Because I said so. You know how it is. So, bam, bam. That means all I need is this, 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 and then we'll just do over here. And I thought that was a fly over there buzzing around me. That would have just looked creepy as all hell. This And hey, hey, hey. Could put that there to really annoy the system. Nah, might as well. Okay, so that means fancifying that is out of the question, and we're just gonna go like that. Just gonna go like that. And just gonna go like that. I'm just gonna go like that, just gonna go like that. Yeah, just going like that. Just going like that. Yeah. Annoying probably 5 people when I just sang that odd little thing. Can't really say that's singing anyways. That thing is not connected whatsoever. The heck. So that means if I connect that there instead, there we go. So we now got coal in our system, we got iron in our system, and I forget what I was doing before. At least this should give us a lot faster. Ah, yes, I was explaining the chemical plant and a bunch of other stuff. And we're also going to need a heck of a lot of piping, which can probably be done later because we're going to need to bring all of our energy over in a long haul. Now I'm thinking I'll bring the energy up this way because I'm probably going to expand this way later on. So that means we can go with the big poles here. Nope, not that far. Kinda needs to go a bit farther. It's right there. And we're gonna need a few more of these, aren't we? Yep. Well, let's at least did I? Huh, I thought that just... What? Okay, I'm confused. Probably gonna have to see my footage again to fully understand that, or what had happened. I thought the water just... Did I? No. What? The hell? Okay, I'm gonna just shut up and clear out a bit more area. Now, I think it might be a good idea to have all of the production over here. Like the actual production and use of all this. Let's put that there. Let's put the refinery... I think I'll actually want to put the refinery... Okay, be right back. So, I hit into a bit of a minor snag when trying to upgrade our iron processing line. And the fact that our system currently kinda can't be upgraded to any sort of, ooh, this is gonna take a long time, that's gonna take a long time, might as well go with this one. Our system can't expand much more, not even talking about the iron amount. The fact that our purely directionally, we can't really expand much. Also, the fact that I can't even word, but whatever. So, my solution is to basically, our iron isn't getting down here quick enough, so all of these arms and, well, rather unloaders aren't really getting anywhere. So what I'm thinking is that I'll do this, basically replace all of our transport belts up to that point, so that they'll at least get down faster. There we go. Then we'll need a lot more iron, and this is probably near the point where we're going to actually need to make all of this, like all of this stuff at different locations. I think we're doing good for energy, actually. We're not exceeding it. We're at a production, well, we can probably make 5 megawatts, which is quite a bit of power. And we don't have much of a pollution footprint. However, ooh, that's looks like something I can't handle myself. Gonna need to go a bit more into the actual processing of a bunch of other things. We got our radar still going, and I think making a rail line might be a good idea at this point. What is it that we need for a rail line? Obviously rails, and we also need engine units, which we can't craft by hand. Why is that? What do we require for engines? You know what would be a good thing to do engines with? You know, actually be able to make them? But if we look here, it needs 2 pipes, 1 steel beam, and 1 iron wheel per. I mean, that's a doable thing. We got our steel here, even though the steel is also getting used by this subsystem. That doesn't really matter. In fact, this subsystem is full with our ammo, which I think is good. We can probably go like that and then make a bit more, but we still only have 90 steel, so we could use a long arm here to at least get our iron. Now, I don't think we'll really need many things dedicated purely to engine creation, so what we could probably do is just make one assembling machine for that. But we will also need some more iron, which means we will need to somehow get rid of this bottleneck. We need iron for both the engine... Sorry, we need it for pipe production, these things, as well as iron gears. Could try to divert the iron gears, however, it's probably more efficient to make a dedicated one instead. So if we have pipes, iron gears, long arm going over this direction, I mean, that just requires 2 of those. Then we can place this for the final bit. Maybe make a few lamps, that might be a bit better. And let's actually make the ingredients first. If we want this system completely dedicated to the creation of it, we need a long arm there. So that means just one of these. That's an easy enough thing to create. We'll worry about energy later. And then we need to have basically a bunch of inserters to go into here. One here. And we'll just wait for those blade things to actually create. Thank you very much. Here. Then we'll want these things to feed into them. And have it so that we are getting our iron. This will need to make pipes. This will need to make gears. And this will need to make the engines once we actually get to it. I want to have my engines now, please. I'd like to test the system. Unless that's too hard to ask. Probably is. Oh well, I'll just sit here. Being tired, being bored, waiting. Hey guys, wanna wait for me? I didn't think so. Morgan Freeman, about time too. Finally managed to get the engine research after quite a bit of twiddling of thumbs. It was like 10 minutes, honestly, not as bad as some things. Anyways, we can finally set our engine unit and then have these assembling a few engines for us. Now, this is gonna take a disastrously long time, but it does take quite a few resources, thus we're going to want to be careful on this end. And unfortunately, we are also going to need to slowly upgrade our system over here because the splitters and all of the underground stuff, frankly, is a bit low. So there we go. Let's, sorry, bit slow, I should say. So if we replace that there, and if we have all of those replaced by some of these, we might be in better shape. However, once again, we are at one of those stages where we are running out of, well, resources, things, etc. I don't know. We're gonna need 5 gears and a transport belt for one of these fast transport belts. And we are going to need to figure out how to get all that. Now, one thing I'd like is automated rail transportation, so I don't have to manually choose which stops, etc. And then we have to figure out a good route for all of this train stationing. I'm thinking maybe we'll have like a copper mine and maybe pick up all the plastics, etc. that we get from... Actually, it's going to be over here, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking. So maybe if we clear out a nice swath of land, we're also going to need to get a bit of stone. And this thing, although it's producing stone, it's dedicated to produce completely stone bricks, which aren't exactly the best for a smooth railed ride. So we're going to need to find another location for stone, and then we're also going to need to worry about the logistics of all of the... I find it funny that it's a diesel locomotive, however, it requires solid fuel to actually run. Who would have thought? So, copper, good. Radar's good. Not entirely sure the next thing to do, other than wait for the automated rail transportation. What we could do, though, is get some sort of fast transport belt bonanza going. And if only we had access to those metal gears at a good enough production speed so that we don't have to worry too much. We could bring this up here so that we have access to the transport belts and access to all the other stuff. So for this, we need 20 iron gears, and for this we need electronic circuits. If you go with that route, that would be easy enough to set up. So let's try that. Up like this. We'll go like this, I'd suppose. I mean, we just want to be a bit space efficient there. So now we have all of our iron gears this way, of all our other stuff. So if we bring them so that we have this and this, we'll have a decent supply of iron gears and a decent supply of all of our transport thingamabobbers. What was this? That it needs 4 fast transport gears, and this needs underbelt things, which requires iron plates. I don't think we're going to want to automatically make the underground belts, because there's only certain situations where it's actually applicable and used in any sort of fashion. So I'm thinking for now we'll keep this semi-expandable and make one of these for now, and then we'll upgrade it. And what? Make it like that. We probably want to move our science sets eventually, but for now this is good enough. Hey, there we go. And all this would require is recipe selection and our things here. I'll get our transport belts, and we need probably a fast one of those. If I were to hazard a guess, that's probably the best way to do it, since we are going to need a lot of iron gears per. Now, one thing that I'd like to do is make this at a faster setup. Good. And we're also going to want to take all of our stuff out of here. Good. And we're going to want a chest to actually store all of our stuff. Good. And maybe a bit of power would be not amiss. There we go. So now we have our fast transport belts. We'll get a total of 3 stacks for them, and we'll also make it at a faster speed, so that we'll be able to get as many as we want. Now, one interesting thing is that now we can put like 2 of these to facilitate all of our iron gear requisition. Now, the problem is, obviously, we're not making iron gears fast enough, which means that we're going to need to improve this infrastructure, which means we need to improve this infrastructure. Basically, an entire trickle-down effect. However, what it does mean is that we'll finally be able to get these, and we're probably going to, ironically, need to make a splitter. How much iron is that? 76 raw iron. Wow, the irony. The irony. Okay, might as well just go with this for now, though. For now, though. Like Bilbo Baggins. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, that's good. So we got that. Now we got some meaningful supply. And what this probably means is eventually we're going to want some sort of method. Wow, you have a lot of iron in you. So do you. I guess you were the only ones. Huh, that's interesting. So we're not going to run out of iron for a while, but we're going to want to think about speeding all of this up. So iron production, and maybe want to make some dedicated factories. Like a dedicated factory on circuits would be good. All it needs is the raw plastic as well as the iron and copper. So that means we could have one facility for our ore production of one type and another for another one. Have it all on rail transportation, bring it to a central processing facility that makes the iron and copper plates. Maybe also have it make the steel plates, because might as well have a dedicated steel amount. Then we have to, well, if we want to expand it infinitely, we're going to need to have more trains on one track, which means we're going to want to think about doing a lot of other stuff that's going to basically be some sort of major difficulty. And if we want to hook it into this, oh my gosh, this game's gonna be nice and long, isn't it? So unfortunately we've ran out of time today. I'm thinking next time we're probably actually going to want to start with our oil production, but auto crafting, maybe we can auto-craft the auto-crafters. That might be a good idea, because frankly we're going to need quite a few assembling machines later down the line. However, we can't make this type of assembling machine automatically because we need 4 different types of things. So maybe just making these in the tier 2 assembling machine, we'd be able to. Basically, we have a lot ahead of us and we're not going to run out of things to do for quite a bit of time. Well, that's all the time we have for this episode of Factorio. If you like what you see, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe to future episodes. WayofTime here, signing off. Have a wonderful day.